Alright, you write everything I write, okay? Chapter 8, Lesson 1. We are going to be adding, no, and subtracting polynomials. And I don't know that you have heard this word polynomials before, but polynomials just mean more than one term. Good. I may have said it before. I don't think that your Singapore books talk about polynomials. I think they call them like more than one term, things like that. This is what high school will call it, polynomials. All right. So a polynomial looks something like this. Put you in a little example down here. Why is it doing that? Okay. That's a polynomial. 5x squared plus 2x plus 1. Austin, have you seen stuff like this? No? Be honest. Okay. They haven't either. So you're good. The only thing that they have done, they haven't dealt with 3 terms as much as they dealt with 2. So let's talk about adding and subtracting these. Your book teaches you a way that I love. No other book that I have seen has taught it this way before. I stacked mine on top of each other. Do you remember me showing you that last year? Maybe if I show you, you'll remember.
Probably.
I hope. Don't say probably not. Okay. Hey.
I'm gonna stick out in the hall to get some phone service. Phone call.
So to add them, let's just find a couple that we can add. Just a second. Okay, here we go. That's a minus. I want a plus. I don't get any pluses. Any examples? Okay, well here goes. Look at this one. And they're gonna give you crazy letters, okay? This one happens to do G's. Minus 3G. It looks worse than what it is. It looks long, so obviously right away you're focus on your test. Right away you're kind of done with this one, right? Don't quit. Do you remember last chapter we did elimination, correct? We stacked them right on top of each other. Same thing we're going to do with this, okay? We're going to rewrite the first one. So underneath it, I have a different color. Rewrite your first one. G4 minus 3G plus 9. Just rewrite it. Now the second one, I'm going to put these kind of terms underneath the ones that match, okay? And the best thing about adding is I get to keep these signs the same. I can keep a negative, right? I can keep a positive, right? So, do I have a G to the third anywhere? No? So I'm going to put him out here because he doesn't have anything to go with. What about just a regular G? You have a regular G in there? No? You don't have one that looks like just a regular G?
Oh yeah. Well, it's with something.
it doesn't matter. The first number doesn't matter. It's the exponent that matters. Okay? So you can put a 12g with that. So plus 12g. You only want to match the letter and the exponent. It does not matter what's in front. Okay? So now I can just put an equal sign. Did I have anything to go with the g to the fourth?
No.
No, so it's just still 2g to the fourth. Negative 3 plus 12 gives me a plus 9, right? So plus 9g. Nothing went. Why are you looking like that? Negative 3 plus 12 gives me plus 9. Do you agree?
Where's the plus 12 coming from?
Up here.
The other side?
Up here, yeah. This is the first one I put here. The second one I put there. Okay? I just lined it up with things that matched it. Okay, so nothing went with the 9. And then nothing went with the g to the third. So this is actually your answer. You're welcome. We're going to put it in something called standard form. Standard form with polynomials just means that we go from the biggest exponent to the smallest. Okay? That's all that it means. It goes down stair steps. Okay? So what's my largest exponent in this answer? The 4g to the 4, right? I mean 2g to the 4, right? So that one's first. What's the next exponent? Yeah, g to the third. So minus g3. Do I have it to the second?
No.
No. So I can't put one, right? Go to the next one. G to the first. And then this last number without a letter goes last. So, do you remember what this number without a letter is called? Starts with a C. Something that never changes.
Constant.
Constant, right. Because I can't change that. Even no matter what I multiply these three by, that 9 is still a 9, right? Yeah.
So is this our answer?
This is your answer right here.
That's not hard.
It isn't hard.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. You're going to get used to this. This is going to be on your EOC, guys. All I'm doing is adding things that are the same. Remember, the same means same letter, same exponent. Does not mean same front
So
number.
what did you do with the negative G3?
Could I put it with anything?
No.
So that's why it just went down here.
But you could put the 12 with the 3?
Right, because they both have a G to the 1. G to the 1.
There's nothing there.
Okay.
What about that 9, the plus 9, and how'd you get, yeah, and you got 9g on the bottom.
9G. These.
I got another question.
I just put those there. And then the 9s are right here. That minus G, he's over here. And then that one.
Does it matter about the G sign, or does it just matter the exponent?
The exponent only.
So it doesn't matter if it's negative G or positive G?
No, that's like saying this is a negative 1. So remember, ignore the front number for the most part. You know how to add and subtract. I hope. We know how to add and subtract. Right now, we're just worried about putting exponents and the letters. Okay? So let's look at another one. Your book does not give good examples. Sorry. Let's see. Some of them, they go ahead and line up for you, which I think is kind of nice of them. All right. It's long, but the answer isn't going to be. If I look at the first one,
Okay, so whenever we take the one from the other side, do we have to switch the side or just keep it the same?
Nope. Keep the
Okay,
signs
wait,
the same.
legit.
What?
And do you know how you brought on the other one? Do you know how you brought down one equation and then you plug in the other one?
Huh?
Doesn't matter which one you put in.
It's not plugging in. It's just stacking on top of each other. We're not
Doesn't
plugging.
matter which one goes first.
I usually go with the first one first just because that's where I start. You know, like if you read something left to right, that's what I do because I'm afraid I'll forget stuff. If I write this one down, the 5x squared minus 3s plus 7x, what do you notice about these two? They're common. So watch. 5x squared minus 3x. 7x is the same as a 3x, right? So I'm going to put a plus 7x underneath it.
The answer's really short.
It is.
You already did.
So now, the second one, that's an x squared, right?
Oh, 9x and 2x.
Right, so I can put them underneath this side. So 9x squared, 2x squared, and then a 7x. I'm just going to put it right next to it.
I think this is the easy one.
Yeah. So all I do is put the x squareds together. 5, 9, and 2. 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16x squared, right? So 16x squared. You never add these exponents. Never. The exponents in the letter are just identifying the front number, okay? It's like saying, let's move all the blue shirts over here and all the red shirts over here. Just because you have other things on your shirt doesn't mean your shirt isn't blue, right? Doesn't mean your shirt isn't red, does it?
No.
So, it's the same thing. Let's put these together. That's a negative 3, though. So, 4 plus 7 is 11, and then that x. This is it. Is that in standard form? Is that starting with a high exponent and ending with a small one?
Yes.
Go downstairs steps? Yes. It is. So, not hard, right?
No.
Hmm. Don't say yes.
I didn't.
I thought you said yes. Let's do a minus sign now. Because to me, the minus signs are the ones that are kind of tricky, but you already really know how to do it. Subtracting. Alright, looks like this. Ooh. Okay. So when you're doing minus, do you remember a while ago when we had things that looked like this? Remember stuff like that?
Yep.
And we used, what did we call it?
The distributor.
Distributive property. How much you loved that, right, Cameron? Remember, what number is like in front of this?
1.
A negative 1. Same thing here. Okay? You're going to pretend there's a negative 1 here, and you're going to distribute that. That way, these signs are ready to add, even though sometimes we know we have to add a negative, right? So, first we need to distribute that negative. How do I do that? What's going to happen?
Negative, negative, positive.
Right. Negative 1 times 7, negative 7, right? Negative 1 times 5 is a minus 5x squared. And then negative 1 times a minus 12 is what?
Positive 12.
Right, plus 12. Andy, this is one where you could start with the second one. I already wrote it down, didn't I? I already got it changed. So, what I've done is I've taken this minus sign and I've made all of these change. And it kind of looks like this now. Kind of looks like a plus. Okay? So once you do that, now you're just combining terms. Okay? Once you distribute that negative, you're just combining terms like you normally know how. Okay? Let's stick this one under here. Where does the x to the third go? With which one?
7.
Right. So x to the third. The x squared right here, correct? Sorry, Cameron. And then the 5x.
Oh, it's already in order.
5x, where does he go?
Over.
Yeah, I gotta stick him at the end. I don't know why it's doing that. So now,
My pen just went down.
what's negative 7? What number's with this?
1.
What's negative 7 plus 1?
-6.
Thank you. Negative 6x to the third. And then negative 5 minus 3?
Negative 8.
Minus 8. And then the 12? And then the 5x. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. What is today? Tuesday? I have to ask Dennis tomorrow. So now let's put it in standard form.
Mine ended up in standard form.
It's okay. So really, that's to the third, to the second. I really just need to swap those two, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So negative 6x to the third minus 8x squared plus 5x plus 12. This is how your answers go. This is how you'll see them on multiple choice. Every one of your multiple choice answers will be like this. They do not try to sugarcoat it up on your EOC. They put everything in standard form. Just because it's easier. What's it called? What form is that called? Say it.
Standard.
Thank you. Standard form. Now, let's talk about another really easy thing. This is the hardest part of this lesson, okay? Easy part. What is the degree? These are easy ones. Probably will have a question or so like this on your EOC. And when you read it, like me just asking you right now, what's the degree of something? You think of temperature, right?
Yeah.
The degree of a polynomial is basically what your largest term's exponents equal. Okay? So, like, let's look at one like this. Let me start with some odds. Let's see. Oops. What is the degree of this one? The degree is just a plain number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? Just a plain number and no variables. What I do is add the exponents of one term. Add exponents of one term.
So would it be 10 or 64?
None. Add the exponents. What's 2 plus 3?
5.
5. It's that simple.
I thought you were doing 8 plus 2.
No. Do not add the 8. Add exponents of one term. Let's add variables to that. One term variables. We don't mess with that 8. The 8 doesn't even mean anything in this. We only look at the letters or the variables exponents. Okay? On your notes, you can circle those. So let's look at another one. I can't write on that side of the screen. Let's see. Ask you to simplify. Name. Alright, let's look at a term like back to the beginning. I want to find the degree of this one. Okay? Okay? So, remember, we're using one term. What is the degree of that term?
2.
Just 2.
Yeah.
Just 2. What's the degree of this term?
1.
1. What's the degree of that one?
1. Oh, wait, you don't have variables.
No letters, so it's 0. Okay? If there's no letters, the degree is 0. So now, the degree of this polynomial, which one's the largest? The 2. So 2 is its degree. Okay? So you take the largest. No.
Only 1 term.
Only one term can go together. See how up here, Cameron, these were all multiplied? That's just one term, right? So I added these to get
So
5.
5x squared is just one term, and then 2x is one.
Yes. Here's one term, here's one term, here's one term. Do you see that? Yes? So I can only put these exponents together. I can only put these together. I can only put these together. Okay? And then you take the largest number. Okay? Let's look at one more.
So, Miss Gear, if they're separated by like a plus sign or a minus sign,
Yeah. Then they're separated by the degree. Okay? That's where you stop. So I'm going to give you one that's a little odd, and I don't even really know the degree to it. Okay? Because it's coming out of this mess up here. Okay? Ready? All right. 3 terms, not that bad. Write this down. Find a place. 5x squared, y to the third, plus 7x to the third, y, plus 9x squared. So, what is the degree of the first term?
5,
Y.
because you have to add the exponents. to
Right.
the
2 and 3 give me 5. I usually write mine on top. Okay? What is the degree of this one?
3.
Try again.
3.
4. Oh, yeah.
What's the exponent to the y? 1. So what's 3 plus 1? 4. Very good. What's the degree here? 2. Very good. So which one is larger?
5.
5. So the degree of this one is 5. What's the degree of what's the degree of this number?
1. Wait, 0.
0. Why?
Because
There's
that is
no
no
variables.
variable.
Right.
Or exponent.
0. No variables. Super important. They will throw one of those at you, I guarantee you, on your test. Okay? Because it's easy. It's like 1 to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is just
0.
Why don't, Miss Gear, why don't you say you have like 1 when you have x?
like up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Because it's x to the first.
But like when you're down there like on the 9x squared,
Okay.
Well, it has like 6.
But it's x squared. There's 2. That one.
on the line, the one, yeah, that.
Because you put them, if it's one term, you put those together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't split these up. You only split, like you said earlier, with a plus or a minus sign. Okay? So are you ready for homework?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
It's not that bad. I was probably a little harder on you than the homework will be. They actually stack some of yours up for you. Always stack your adding and subtracting. 9 through 39 odd. And then 45 and 47. Okay. Not bad. It seems worse than what it is. Some answers will go just like that. Okay?